We are discussing a significant new policy affecting households across Indonesia.
That's right, Zaki. The government has announced changes to the distribution and subsidy system for LPG gas, aimed at making the program more efficient and ensuring it reaches those who truly need it. But while the policy has good intentions, its implementation has raised concern among many consumers.
To help us better understand the details, we are joined with representative from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Dr. Muhammad Zafir. Dr. Zafir, thank you for being here. How are you this evening?
Access my audio. No.
Yes, you can start.
Okay, good evening, Zaki and Hadi. I'm doing well right now. Thank you for inviting me to this occasion. It's a pleasure to be here to discuss one of the most important issues that we currently have.
We appreciate your time, Dr. Zafir. To start, hope you will ask through the main points of the new policy.
Currently, now the government has implemented a new registration system for subsidized gas LPG to ensure fair distribution. Eligible households must register using their ID card in KTP, and the subsidy is applied digitally through a QR code system. This policy goal is to prevent misuse by individuals or businesses that shouldn't be receiving subsidized gas.
And what was the main motivation behind this change?
What was the main motivation behind this change?
Previously, some third parties or businesses would stockpile all these subsidized gas and resold it at a higher prices, which made it a bit hard for very low income households to access this affordable gas. But with the implementation of this policy, this new system, we are ensuring that the subsidy benefits all the intended households directly without any middleman increasing prices unfairly.
Thank you for that explanation, Dr. Zafir. Now, to get a broader perspective on how this policy is affecting consumers, we are joined by a representative from a consumer advocacy group, Dr. Rahmat Nobagio Barokah. For Dr. Rahmat Gio, welcome to the program. How are you this evening?
Check. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alright, good evening. Hi, this is I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. This is a crucial discussion, and I appreciate your opportunity to speak on behalf of consumers.
Good evening and welcome to the 6 o'clock news. I'm Zaki, joined by co-anchor Hadi. Tonight, we'll be discussing a significant new policy affecting households across Indonesia.
That's right, Zaki. The government has announced changes to the distribution and subsidy system of LPG gas and at making the program more efficient and ensuring it reaches those who truly need it. But while the policy has good intentions, its implementation has raised concerns among many consumers.
To help us better understand the details and implication of this policy, we are joined by a representative from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resource, Dr. Muhammad Zafir. Dr. Zafir, thank you for being here. How are you this evening?
Good evening, Zaki and Hadi. I'm doing well, actually. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here to clarify this important issue.
We appreciate your time, Dr. Zafir. To start, could you walk us through the main points of the new policy?
Certainly. Well, the government has implemented a new registration system for subsidized gas LPG to ensure fair distribution. And every eligible household must register using their ID cards, and the subsidy is applied digitally through QR code system. This prevents misuse by individuals or businesses that shouldn't receiving the subsidized gas.
And what was the main motivation behind this change?
The main motivation behind this change is fairness. Okay, previously some third parties stockpiled this subsidized gas and resold it at a higher prices, which made it harder for low-income families to access this affordable gas. But with this system, we ensure that the subsidy benefits the intended household directly without any middleman increasing prices unfairly.
Thank you for that explanation, Dr. Zafir. Now, to get a broader perspective on how this policy is affecting consumers, we are joined by a representative from a consumer advocacy group, Dr. Rahmat Novalgio Baraka. Dr. Rahmat, welcome to the program. How are you this evening?
Good evening, Hadi and Zaki. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. This is a crucial discussion and I appreciate the opportunity to speak on behalf of consumers.
We are glad to have you here. Now, Dr. Rahmat, from the consumer perspective, how has this policy impact everyday household?
The biggest issue here isn't just about preventing misuse, it's about accessibility. The government removed small-scale resellers, which were an essential part of the supply chains. Now, people must buy from official agent, but the number of agents is far too low to accommodate demand.
Could you explain that further? How were small-scale resellers helping before?
Before, even though resellers weren't officially sanctioned, they provided a critical service. Yes, they increased prices slightly, but the difference was manageable for most families. More importantly, gas was always available nearby. People didn't have to travel long distances or wait in long lines. But now, with resellers gone, we have thousands of consumers chasing to fuel again.
So if I understand correctly, while prices are technically lower now, the availability issue has made it even harder for families to get gas?
Exactly. Now families are forced to wait hours in long lines at agents only to be told the stock is gone. This isn't just inconvenience, it's a real crisis for low-income households who rely on LPG gas daily.
Excuse me, may I have a say on Dr. Rahmat respond there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the thing is, okay, thank you. I completely understand, that this transition has been difficult, and I want to emphasize that the government is closely monitoring the situation. But again, let's not forget that this policy was designed for fairness. Previously, third parties were profiting off this subsidized gas. But now, every eligible household can access gas at the correct lower price.
Dr. Zofia, I respect the goal of fairness, but fairness also means availability. What's the point of lower price if people can't even buy it? Before, even with a slight price markup, at least gas was accessible. But now people are struggling just to find it.
That's a major concern, Dr. Zofir. Was the government aware that reducing the number of distribution points will lead to shortage?
Well, we did actually anticipate some challenges, but we believe, that in the long run, the system will eventually stabilize. The government is working on increasing the supply and adjusting distribution as needed.
But people can afford to wait for things to stabilize. They need gas now, not in a few months. What immediate solution does the government have?
Again, I want to emphasize, that we are already increasing the supply.
But supply means nothing if people can reach it.
Gentlemen, let's take a step back. It's a critical issue, and we appreciate both of your perspective, but let's focus on solution. How can we ensure that every household has real access to subsidized gas without waiting in long lines or traveling far distance?
Okay, first, the government is implementing emergency measures such as increasing daily supply quotas for, agent and setting up temporary distribution points in high demand areas.
That's a start, but it's not enough. If I may suggest, the government should temporarily reinstate small resellers in areas where agents are too few. This doesn't mean allowing price manipulations. It means making sure people don't go without gas.
That is something we can certainly review. However, we must be cautious, to avoid loopholes that allow misuse to return.
This has been a constructive discussion. Before we close, do you both have any final advice for our viewers regarding this policy?
Okay. I highly urge everyone to stay informed and check with local authorities about the registration process. We understand that the transition has been difficult, but we are actively working on solutions.
And for those struggling to find gas, report shortages. The more people speak up, the faster the adjustment can be made. If you face issue, reach out to your local official or consumer advocacy groups.
Thank you both for sharing your insight. This is a major shift, and we'll continue to monitor its impact on communities across Indonesia.
That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates on this and other stories. Take care and have a nice day.